Good afternoon, and welcome back to Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. We're here at the University of Winnipeg in the Duckworth Center, celebrating Canada's national championships. Up next, we have women's singles in the open division. This is still the end of our pool play, so these runners are playing for seeding for the elimination divisions that will start tomorrow. In front, we have Prentice. Receiving serve is Danielle Ramsay. Our referee for this match is Alexis Sawasa.
All right, here we go, JT. Who you got for this match?
I think I'm going to have to go with Danielle Ramsay. I saw her play on Monday for a while. I saw Cassie play. Danielle is a little more comfortable on these courts.
1-0.
Well, it starts with an unforced error from Prentice. Make that 2. Well done, Ramsay. Just moving Prentice around the court, testing that footwork, testing that speed. 3-0. Big win earlier today for junior Asher Pochai, defeating Cassie Prentice's brother Tanner in 5 games. That was a fun match to watch. And I think that might be the difference between these two players, is just court coverage, footwork, speed. Because Prentice, you can see, is already a little bit frustrated with not being able to get some of the balls back that she thinks she should.
Nice jam serve from Ramsay, same one I think we saw her hit yesterday in doubles.
The body language is not what it should be from Prentice, and I like this early timeout. It's 5-0 because Ramsay's playing well. Well, let's take a timeout. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
Les filles commencent à jouer au racquetball à un jeune âge, mais au fur et à mesure qu'elles se développent en tant qu'athlètes, elles trouvent de moins en moins de filles pour s'entraîner et participer à des compétitions. Par conséquent, elles se retrouvent souvent dans des programmes qui ne répondent pas toujours à leurs besoins sociaux et physiques, ce qui leur donne le sentiment de ne pas vraiment être à leur place. En mettant des programmes spécifiquement destinés aux filles et aux femmes, nous pouvons les inciter à continuer à pratiquer le sport qu'elles aiment. Canadian Women in Sport et Racquetball Canada peuvent vous aider en vous proposant d'excellentes ressources. Changeons le jeu.
Girls begin playing racquetball at a young age, but as they develop as athletes, they find fewer girls to train and compete with. As a result, they often end up in programs that don't always meet their social and physical needs, leaving them feeling they don't really belong. By programming specifically for girls and women, we can keep them playing the sport they love. Canadian Women in Sport and Racquetball Canada can help you with some great resources. Let's change the game.
And we're back. So the timeout worked in favor of Prentice, side out.
1-1-5.
6 serving 1, and I'm joined for this match by Jan Hansen. Jan, you wear many hats, so what's your official title?
Let's see if I can remember it. I'm the Director of Communications, Safe Sport, and Diversity and Inclusion for Racquetball Canada. So social media, huge push in Canada on safe sport right now, of course, as well as diversity and inclusion. So it's all important.
Another unforced error from Prentice. That's 4 in this first game. Half of the points won by Ramsay are unforced errors from Prentice. Nine serving 1. This is what Danielle Ramsay wanted, was a comfortable, easy first game, and that's the way it's turning into so far. Nice hands to make it 10.
How come you're not asking me any technical questions, Tim?
Oh, we're going to wait for the break. We're going to see if we can close this out, and then I'm going to ask for a strategic breakdown for Prentice, what she needs to do in game 2.
Oh, dear. I think I needed also.
And there it is, ace serve from Ramsay, and a 10-1 scoreline. Not what Prentice wanted. Look at that. 6 points in a row. No. Yeah, 6 points in a row was the longest run. 6 winners to 1. And then the unforced error count, 5 for Prentice and none for Ramsay. Okay, so while we have you, because we know you're here, there, and everywhere this week, first off, JT and I, big thank you to you for taking care of us at these tournaments. It means a lot to us. But when we talk about Racquetball Canada, social media is so big, getting the word out to people, making people aware that racquetball exists and people can play it. What are you doing in Canada that maybe other, or maybe provinces within Canada or people within Canada, and then people watching from outside of Canada might take back and go, yeah, I'm going to try doing that?
Well, first off, we're so grateful that you guys are here with us, so thank you. We appreciate this. This is the third time for you, Tim?
4.
4?
Come on now.
You've been along too. So, it's social media is a conundrum, but for sure we have great cooperation nationally. So it's really important that we work cohesively. And I guess that maybe that would be a takeaway. Is it's okay, it's fine for one group to be doing something, but the more that we do together, the more marketing benefit we get from the time that we're spending on social media.
So let me put you on the spot a little bit on this, because that sounds very a very good political response. In practice, what do you mean? How does it mean when you share something, somebody else should share something, the same thing? Should you work together to have tournaments at different times? What are you trying to get across?
Well, for sure the tournament thing, and we're pretty wide across the country, but there is a good cooperation. So when Saskatchewan has tournaments, we do have people from Manitoba that come in. So with our neighboring provinces, it's important to look at our schedule. Social media-wise, like we send out whatever we can to our provincial associations. We know their capacity; they don't have staff like we have staff, so we try to give it to them in a way that they can localize it and add their own points and promote their own athletes and their own programs. So, it is sharing, it's using other people's resources, and it's learning from each other.
We're back to the action here. And Prentice just seems
1-0.
I think the right word is discombobulated, but just down on herself, not believing in her shots, and unforced error goes the way of Ramsay with the first point.
Short. Second serve.
We've got the national championships going on here. How does Racquetball Canada We'll wait for this rally to end. How does Racquetball Canada let people know about this event and get people to this event and get excited about this event, given that just like the USA, it's a huge country with a lot of geographical distance often between different players?
2-1.
Well, we found for sure it's important to move our events around. So we have East, West, and Central, I guess. Last year, this tournament was in Montreal. We had good participation from Quebec and Ontario, and not so much from the West. This year, we have people we haven't seen in a few years from Western Canada. More at the age and skill, in the age and skill divisions. Our open players will come probably pretty much wherever we are. Although our open divisions are bigger this year because we have some players that have come back, alumni that have come back to play in the open division. So moving it around is a key thing for us, for sure. And I think to piggyback on that, we know, although we're moving it around, we know we'll announce this week sometime where all of our events are next year. And we do absolutely count on social media, but the cooperation from our provincial associations to get the word out and build the excitement.
How, when you look at provincial associations, how active are they, given that you may not have a large group of players in a province, you may not even have players in a province, such as, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, Yukon or somewhere like there. How do you get volunteers engaged to really grow in a province? Because as a Racquetball Canada umbrella, it's hard for you to be everywhere and do everything for everyone. It has to be done at the grassroots level.
I think that's been a focus. This is kind of our first year out of the restrictions and I guess a bounce back year. But absolutely, we need those local champions. We have some provincial associations that are fortunate to have staff. Most don't. You just mentioned the Yukon. I mean, we're not even sure if there are racquetball courts up in our Northern Territories, but we also have it in Canada where we have players who there exist but have played the game for years. What we've been trying to do is build tools and packages of information and resources that somebody can take and implement at the community level. We have Prentice community coordinator who's there. Can't be there in person. He can be there on the phone to coach and provide resources, templates. So I'm talking about the badge program. Most of our provinces have purchased the inflatable court program, or courts, and I've been taking those out to schools and community events. So it's really trying to reach out to the grassroots level. It's not my favorite word, but the community level, and make them aware, and then build champions of the sport in each community.
When you say timeout on the court taken by Ramsay, Prentice has found a little mojo and has a 7-4 lead. You said tools and resources out to the provinces. What kind of tools are you talking about? There's the badge program, and we talked about that in an earlier stream. Is it how to run a 12-week program for youth, or how to attract youth into your club? What are we talking about?
Yeah, well, the badge program, I guess it's like the swimming program. That it's a skill development curriculum. But along with that, when we do the coach workshop for that program, it talks a lot about development and how to bring people on board and what we need to be doing to make people aware. So Curtis is working on something that's called the Coach Bulletin Board, and people will be able to just access that bulletin board and download posters and anything that you could put up on your bulletin board at your community. So when you walk into a community, you know racquetball is in that community. Because right now those bulletin boards are filled with nothing or other things.
Right. So information, if people don't know you exist, how can they learn about it and play? Okay, let's get back to the action. Interesting shot from Prentice. If we look at this year's Nationals compared to last year's Nationals, I think you told me 25 more players this year than last year.
Maybe even more than that. I think we were in the like high 60s, and we're just over 100 here. So.
What do you attribute that to?
Well, I mean, it does help bringing it back east or west. Sorry, but I think we have seen where there's little areas or spots where people are playing racquetball. They're really glad to be back there. And we've seen groups of those people come. So my hometown, Regina, for example, has a facility that has just reopened 2 courts, and there's more people in that community here than there have been for a few years. So I think there's some enthusiasm. I mean, people love the sport. We have long timers in our sport, and they're just really glad to be back, and we're really glad to have them here.
Ramsay with the winner. It's 6 serving 9.
6 serves 9.
You were telling me earlier off air about your development program for players who aren't necessarily getting carded, and I'm going to ask you that first. What do you mean by carded? And then what's this development program that you have?
Well, Sport Canada, through the funding that they give sport for all sports in Canada. Sorry, that's a repetition, but you can card a certain number of athletes depending on the size of your sport and your funding level, but it also is dependent on their results internationally. So we have 4 cards in our sport and can help fund 4 of our high-performance athletes. At the provincial level, where there's strong sports organizations, there's also funding available for high-performance sports. So an athlete like, let's see, I'm trying to think of somebody that might be here. Well, Cassie, for example, she's on the high-performance team with Racquetball Canada, but I'll go. If we have an athlete who's on the development team or on a provincial team, they may get support from their provincial association and access to the Canadian Sports Centre resources, which include access to gyms, perhaps access to trainers like IST, access to yearly training programs. Their coaches will get
IST?
Integrated service. So it's like if you had a I'm going to say it wrong, biomechanist. I think I trained myself to say it right. Like a trainer, a physiotherapist.
Okay.
So a group of people that work with that athlete on developing them as an athlete and in the sport. So those are some of the resources that are available in some provinces, not every province. But
So there's 4 players, I guess 2 men, 2 women, who get carded, which is salaried to compete for Canada. And then there's a group underneath that gets some support in different ways that are still financially beneficial. I know a gym membership for me would save quite a bit of money that allow them to kind of push to get those cards. Is that why you see a good group playing in the open divisions here? Because there's a chance of getting into that, getting part of that developmental team?
For sure. So if you're named to a national team, whether it's a junior, development, or elite level, you have a good chance of getting that support at a provincial level. You're not going to get it if you're a carded athlete. It might be out there in some form or another, but for the most part, those programs are looking for athletes on the bubble of being carded athletes or on the bubble of making a national team if they're a junior level athlete.
Okay. All right, let's get back to the action. It's game 3. Prentice came back after that really slow start in game 1 and played much, much better in game 2. Taking a look at some of the statistics, only 3 unforced errors from Ramsay, but only 1 from Prentice, and I think that was the key. Starting to hit much cleaner. And continuing that into the 3rd game.
1-0.
Nice shot, Ramsay.
Just go back to a point that we talked about, Tim. You were asking about what we're doing to help build programs, and I think nationally what we're trying to do is package as much as we can in a way that somebody can take in and use. So if your facility that maybe has had empty racquetball courts, you could find an avenue to having full racquetball courts. I know those resources are tough to come up with as far as planning and time.
Right, make it easy for somebody who wants to help.
Yeah.
2 serves 1.
2 serving 1. Two serving 2. Rally scoring here at the Canadian Nationals. IRF rules 1 timeout. Although we did see somebody get 2 timeouts earlier today somehow. JT and I were a little suspicious and double-checked the rules. Don't think it helped. Haven't seen that for a while from Prentice, and unforced error.
3 serves 2.
3 serving 2, Ramsay. Do you have maybe a success story or something that you found has really worked here in Canada that other programs, other clubs here and abroad can maybe take and go, oh, that's a really good idea. We're going to try that.
Well, there's 2 places, well, there's more than 2, but 2 that come to mind, and I'm going to talk about the one that people can expect me to talk about. We have a lot happening here in Manitoba and Brandon, but that's also because we have a national staff person who lives there and is highly motivated. But in Ontario, a place where we have courts, and we have a lot of players, and we've had really successful high-performance players. Their programs have dwindled off. But we have a super strong provincial association there who have brought their way back into almost being funded again through the provincial sport funding body. They're very close. They have 12 facilities who they have a volunteer ambassador who works with the facility and the community to promote programs, and they have junior programs in just about every one of those 12 locations. And they had a provincial championships with 70 people, which has been a long time in coming. So, you know, you can just see the wheels turning and it's starting to grow interest. And we have a few juniors here that are coming for the first time or maybe back as their second time. And quite often those juniors would only come if the tournament was in Ontario, perhaps Quebec. So their ambassador program has been a key part of growing the program. They say they're at the point where they have more interest than they can handle at a volunteer level, and they need to look at ways of funding people, sport leaders or administrators who will help them. So that's pretty exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Now the key will be translating those provincial tournaments, those regional tournaments into coming to nationals, right?
For sure. You know, the open format of this tournament helps a long way, but we've also since I guess this will be the 3rd year coming up, are running a regional national organized regional tournament. So it has a little bit different connotation than being, you know, provincial or a local tournament. And we hope to bring the growth and make a stepping stone to the national championships. Because for some families, that's a pretty good deal.
Timeout on the court taken by Prentice. Probably a wise one. Ramsay leads 7-4. Taking a look at the stats, both with 4 winners each, but it's the errors of Prentice, 3, that make the difference in the scoreline. Now, I know I was here in 2014 and 2015 for the World Championships that you hosted in Burlington, just outside of Toronto. And then, of course, the Pan Am Games were here as well. Does Racquetball Canada plan on having another major event at any time? Because we're on 8, pushing 9 years.
You know, it would be great. I mean, probably the size of our facilities for some of the tournaments will take some right off the bat, but we struggle. I think 5 courts is the biggest facility we have.
Burlington?
I don't know. They might have 6. Do you remember when you were there? How many?
I think they had more than, it was a big facility.
Yeah, but those were squash courts behind. I don't know. I'll check on that.
I don't remember. I mean, we know it's big enough because we held the World Championships.
That is true. That's true. So, and you know, that's like so exciting, right, to have something like that in your. I mean, Canada Games was the ultimate, but hosting the World Championships that year before was an amazing experience, and it lit a fire for sure for a little bit. I'm doing some athletes coming in. We see some of those now, like, you know, Trevor Webb or Curtis Cullen, who have worked hard. Even Sonia Murray wasn't at those championships complete, but
Kobe Iwasa as well.
yeah, so maybe Sam was there, Kobe wasn't. It's hard to remember back then, but so I mean, it would be great to have. I know you need a good, strong volunteer base in order to be able to do that, and that's been probably a capacity issue at some of our provincial level. But I feel like we're gaining that back. It would be great to be on a pro stop. We had a WRT event in Calgary a few years ago. It was successful, so it's something that we've talked about because for sure, you know, those things garner a lot of interest, and people are interested in those events and come out and watch them.
We'll take a look at this outrageous dig from Prentice that just somehow crack rolls on the right side. Groans from my left, cheering for Ramsay, and cheers on my right for those favoring Prentice. It's a good response from Ramsay.
8 serve 7.
Sponsorship dollars are such an important part of hosting anything, and I think, you know, what we're doing here with this live stream, and again, we appreciate you guys being here. This puts our sport in a great light. It gives us something to go to our communities with and our sponsors with and say, this is what our sport looks like. This is what it looks like if you're watching it in person, not in person. So we find great value in being able to share this for many reasons. From including our family from across Canada who can't be there to looking at future events.
9-7.
Had a replay call on that. Ramsay wanted the avoidable hinder not given. Big skip from Ramsay. 8 serving 9. This is a critical game, I think. Who's going to claim it? Ramsay gets one step closer at 10-7. Prentice will have to win 3 points in a row.
10 serves 8.
And finishes it, does Ramsay. Takes a 2-1 lead. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll be back for game number 4. But Prentice will have to win the last 2.
Les filles commencent à jouer au racquetball à un jeune âge, mais au fur et à mesure qu'elles se développent en tant qu'athlètes, elles trouvent de moins en moins de filles pour s'entraîner et participer à des compétitions. Par conséquent, elles se retrouvent souvent dans des programmes qui ne répondent pas toujours à leurs besoins sociaux et physiques, ce qui leur donne le sentiment de ne pas vraiment être à leur place. En mettant des programmes spécifiquement destinés aux filles et aux femmes, nous pouvons les inciter à continuer à pratiquer le sport qu'elles aiment. Canadian Women in Sport et Racquetball Canada peuvent vous aider en vous proposant d'excellentes ressources. Changeons le jeu.
Girls begin playing racquetball at a young age, but as they develop as athletes, they find fewer girls to train and compete with. As a result, they often end up in programs that don't always meet their social and physical needs, leaving them feeling they don't really belong. By programming specifically for girls and women, we can keep them playing the sport they love. Canadian Women in Sport and Racquetball Canada can help you with some great resources. Let's change the game. Racquetball Canada is committed to excellence, whether you're coaching those who are first-time players or those who compete at the elite international level. We work in partnership with the Coaching Association of Canada to provide coach education and development opportunities that fit the needs of our coaches. Racquetball Canada's coaching education program links directly to our long-term development framework and provides coaches with the right knowledge and skills to help all athletes develop to their potential. For more information about coach education and to plan your coaching pathway, visit racquetballcanada.ca or contact us directly.
And welcome back, everybody. Tim Baghurst joined by Jan Hansen, Director of Communications and a variety of other, I'm not going to say them all, but she's got many titles alongside JTRB at the controls. Thanks for joining us this afternoon here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We've been watching Ramsay and Prentice battle it out, and it is Ramsay who took a 2-1 lead, courtesy of really, I mean, it was back and forth, but one extra winner, 7-6, and 2 less errors, 4 by Prentice, 2 by Ramsay, and that was the difference in a fairly tight 11-8 win. Prentice does like her forehand when her feet's set. She plays that well.
One serves one.
But the unforced errors are the problem in this match, I think, for Prentice. Too many of them. Free point for Ramsay.
2 serves one.
Jan, I know south of the border, one of the continual conversations, unfortunately, is the inevitable loss of courts here and there. And that, of course, affects participation locally and nationally. Are you seeing the same in Canada? Have you seen any growth, any interest in building courts? What's the status?
I can't think of one place that has built a new court. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe there has been, but I can't think of a place that has. But we have seen, because we have people on the ground at the provincial level, BC is a great example where David Serra has convinced courts to reopen, or facilities to reopen courts, or to program on courts, or let the provincial association come in and program. So I think what we're seeing is an interest in letting us try to fill those courts, and that's our job. I mean, we do have courts.
So take advantage of the courts you have, make the best out of them.
2 serves 4.
Yeah, and we've seen that in other places. Regina, we had courts that were going to get made into climbing walls. Somebody knew about the facility. They just didn't know that there was a community out there because there has been no place to play. As soon as they knew it, they said, okay, you got 2 years. In 2 years, we'll revisit this and go crazy. So I think there's a willingness and an interest in Canada to grow sport at the community level. It's been something that's been pushed by Sport Canada, the Canadian sport policy, federal funding, provincial funding. It's kind of a COVID bounce back thing, but they definitely want to see Canadians playing sport. It's an avenue to building strong communities.
And are you seeing courts being lost, or is it just a case of the courts are there, they haven't been fully repurposed, and we can get them back?
You know, we might be seeing some loss, but I don't think they're lost forever. You know, I haven't, and again, I mean, I'm not the person talking to people about courts, but anything that I've heard of, it's like, okay, we're going to move it to courts, golf simulator. You can
pull out a simulator.
Yeah. So in the past, we absolutely were seeing pre-COVID being lost. I just don't think people have the funds to redo the whole thing into something different right now.
Where do you see the growth for Racquetball Canada? Do you see it in the juniors? Do you see it in the college-age people? Do you see it in the young adults? Or where do you want to see the growth particularly?
Well, we're pretty wide open. You can see growth every one of those avenues. I would say, we don't have a base of families with young people playing racquetball. We have that gap. When you look around here. We've got some great juniors, but it's not, it's not as strong as it could have been. So I think with the badge program and our retool coaching programs, we have the opportunity to bring youth into the program and have them love it as a lifelong sport. It's all about playing sport for life at the end of the day.
Nice shot by Ramsay, brings it to 8-2. Yeah, thanks to you, we have a lot of bios of many of these players. One of the things that I consistently see when I read through those bios is I started to play thanks to my dad or my mom or my family or my brother, and it really is a family sport. So if parents aren't getting their kids to play, we're losing participation in many ways.
Absolutely. My family is one of the odd people out. My daughter played because my other daughter's friend played. We didn't play, and I'm well aware I'm not subbing alone. So absolutely the family. I think that, when I'm, as a parent, when I was looking for a sport for my child, I was looking for a healthy community sport. All ages, all genders, just a home, a community in itself. And we found that in racquetball. And I think that's a value that we need to keep. And we've identified it as an important value of our sport. But there's room for many new people to come in. We have so many new Canadians. We have growth in certain kinds of populations in our country where they're not getting access to sport. And that's again what we're here for, is to keep people active, healthy, and find them a place to belong.
Brings up match point for Ramsay, fourth unforced error in this fourth game from Prentice. That's been the key so far, I think, in the entire match. Ramsay keeping the unforced errors low, Prentice a little higher, and it's created the differential. And there's a winner that time, though, from Ramsay. And she claims it 11-1, 6-11, 11-8, 11-4. Winners in favor of Ramsay 7-3, and errors 1 from Ramsay, 4 from Prentice, and that's a wrap. With rally scoring, those unforced errors sure make a difference. Well, just a reminder, we're moving into doubles now. We've got 3 matches of doubles coming up for you this evening, so don't go anywhere. We're going to reset the feed. We'll allow players to warm up, and we'll be back with more action here in Winnipeg, Manitoba.